Welcome to the Georgia Show. I was thinking right before the show, we've been on for years now, several years, and the show is getting in its groove. And we went through, a blast at the open, and then kind of settled down as some of the establishment didn't like what we were saying. But now we're in our groove, and the election's over, and we're here to make America great again and make Georgia great again. Bill Quinn is out tonight. He is at the heavyweight boxing match between Josh McCoon and David Cross. He's going to maybe come in later in the show to tell us what's going on. We do have a short clip from him there. We're going to run in a minute. But we are brought to you by the Georgia Record, georgiarecord.com. Please sign up for all our social media on X. It's really important. We got to get the numbers higher. We've been censored and repressed now for years, but now we're like running an open field, and we're excited to get growing. So please help us with that. Sign up for our Rumble channel, CDM1, and we're on Yahoo CDM. We're back on YouTube. So sign up for us there if you're like a YouTuber. Sometimes people don't like Rumble because the video player is a little quirky, but you can find us on YouTube. We upload the show afterwards. It's not a live stream because we have to be careful what's said on YouTube. We've already got admonishments from the management saying we can't talk about that and this. So we're trying to grow that. So we're going to just load it up after the show. One thing you can do for us is sign up for our no ad subscriptions. If you go to any of our CDM sites, you can find this on there. Click on it and it'll bring you to our no ad subscription place. It's $10 a month or $100 a year. I get people all the time saying, I love it because once I'm signed in, I can go to site to site to site all over the world, find out what's happening from the main site, cdm.press, to our Eastern European site, to what's happening in Florida, Georgia, Montana, military, all of it, Spanish. It's all there. So you can get it with no ads, no pop-up ads on your phone. People actually really love it. We get a lot of good support. So support us there. I'm going to play a quick 2-minute clip from Bill Quinn that he did for us earlier today, and then we'll bring in Mallory Staples. She's going to give us an update on the legislative session, and also we have Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen, who's going to talk to us about the public opinion on the tariff issue and other things. So here's Bill real quick.
Hi, Bill Quinn here with CDM. I am here with David Cross, and we're here at the Adventure Outdoor Gun Shop, right? And there'll be a special event tonight where David and Josh McCoon will be able to answer questions for an audience that looks like it's going to be pretty darn big. So, David, tell us what you hope for tonight.
I'm hoping to slay the dragon over here. How about that? It's literally David versus Goliath. I've come into the lion's den over here. I know that this whole process over here is really rigged is not the right word, but it's been set up against me. So I think I'm going to come out pretty strong, and I think I'll do well tonight.
Now, Janelle King is going to be the moderator, yes? And she is with the election board for the state of Georgia. And I think we consider her, she's done some very good things since she joined last year.
Yep.
So should be a very interesting evening. We're looking forward to the kinds of questions. Where else are you doing? Where's the next place you're going to be after this?
Wow. So I've got 2 days off, and then on Saturday I'm going to be in Jackson County for breakfast.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for being with us for a few minutes. You're going to have Todd Wood as the host tonight. Mallory Staples will be joining in just a few minutes to give us an update on the outcome of the legislative session. So lots of information there, and we will see you soon. We'll have updates following this meeting or this set of presentations tonight on the Georgia Record and on the next Georgia Show. Thanks for joining.
Well, appreciate Bill getting that to us. And like I said, we'll bring him in if he comes on. There's a big if he has good cell signal in the auditorium there, and whether he can do some live streaming for us or not. But so we'll see. And I also want to second David Cross, because he's our resident financial advisor. If you have trouble in your financial life, a divorce, a death in the family, a sale of a business, child's education, all of this stuff, David is the guy to call. You can find him at usassetmanagement.com. That's us-am.com. And just call him and talk to him. We can highly recommend David for all your financial issues. I'm going to bring in Mallory now. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Got to get the word out, and you guys are always so welcoming.
Well, thanks. I was talking to you before the show. Everybody got all ginned up for the election. Everybody kind of left it all on the field. And now it feels to me like it's kind of not a letdown, but just like the energy has gone away out of the room for a bit. I think it'll come back, but what say you?
No, I agree. I mean, people are tired,
Yeah.
especially at the state level. We're coming off session,
Uh-huh.
excuse me,
Hmm.
which was absolutely historical. So many things happened that we've literally never seen before. The assault of a sitting senator, at the
Hmm.
hands of the Speaker of the House, all the way up through sine die, where the Lieutenant Governor adjourned early, absolutely unprecedented, and just a great story there. That was, normally when we see people doing politics, it's like eye roll, but that was doing politics and winner, winner, chicken dinner. So it was pretty exciting to see the lieutenant governor fight back, against Speaker Burns, who of course speaks for Brian Kemp, our governor.
Hmm.
So it was just, yeah, I think everybody's just slack worn out. I mean, like I was telling you, I'm getting ready to get some rest because
Yeah,
we've got to gear back up
exactly.
for the second half of the biennium and then these elections in 26. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're coming fast. I
they're
mean,
coming
people, yeah,
fast and we have to get rid of these people. I mean, it is so apparent at this point and people need to be called to the mats for their voting records.
yeah,
Period. End of story. Doesn't have to be personal. Just absolutely what did you do and what did you not do? How did you vote? And
yeah.
the Freedom Caucus is happy to provide, the data for that. We will be dropping our scorecards for our third year of doing scorecards, and those will be ready in about 2 weeks, if not sooner.
Hmm.
Blake's working on those, and he's going to try and get them done. He's working alongside our Louisiana Freedom Caucus doing their state budget as well. So he's a busy, busy bee, but he's hoping to have those in 2 weeks, which will be telling in black and white. It'll allow the constituents to bring the receipts and say to these people, you lied, and we're going to see that you don't return to this seat. So
Yeah, as you said, it's quite obvious now, but we still have the election problems in Georgia and all across the country. I mean, we still have the machines, still have the vote by mail problem. I'm hoping for some kind of federal response. We had the executive order from Trump, but I'm hoping we get more action at the federal level because I think that's what is needed. What do you think?
I do. I think for
Mhm.
states like Georgia that have these fake Republican executive officers, governor,
Mhm.
and leaders, they're going to need a push because
Yeah.
everyone knows that Brian Kemp has said he will not see election integrity bills through. John Burns killed those bills so that it shielded, in my opinion, Brian Kemp from having to veto them and go on
Mhm.
record. And those were 3 bills that they just sliced and diced. And that is what solicited the lieutenant governor's response to shut it down, which kept all those nasty bills from making their way over to the Senate and on the way to the governor's desk, which was a bold move. But I think that's just how ticked off Burt was, which
Yeah.
is great. And we love it when leaders fight back.
Well,
It's
we're
great.
moving into the point where, Kemp is not going to be there much longer. So maybe people are jockeying for position. Who knows? In the Georgia leadership. Well, let's get to the legislative session. You wanted to do an update, or Bill asked you to
Yes.
do an update. Tell us what happened.
Yes, I'm gonna have to put my eyeballs on for this
Sure.
because I'm gonna be reading. It's too much to rattle off. But a big win for us was we killed SB 9, and that was what we not so lovingly refer to as the AI bill. It was the
Mhm.
materially deceptive media bill. Absolute assault on freedom of speech. We killed it last session, carried by the same House rep.
I think that was written for us, Mallory.
Yeah, I think it was too. Gotcha. You're welcome. So
Yeah.
we
Thank you.
all together killed that. I mean, y'all
Yeah.
helped us. So and that was just they literally snuck that in like a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And we were watching for it and we saw it, and the amazing grassroots responded to our cry for help, and we alerted them and we killed that bill. So that was amazing. The other bill that was just unbelievably horrible was HB 268, and that is the surveillance bill, basically. It was the speaker's bill, really. And So that bill, the scariest part of it, and there were several components, was this statewide database. So basically, it's like a terrorist watch list for children. And if you didn't apply by giving your records of your children and this information, then you could be fined, jailed. I mean, just like California would be so proud of this bill. And so that was terrible. We went after that hard and got that whole database removed, that all that component out. It really got gutted nicely, but it still was not good enough to be a Freedom Caucus yes, from us. So, but getting that database out was amazing because it was tentacled and nasty. So that was a big win. And that literally was a response to the grassroots pressure period. So well done, everybody. HB 79. Yeah, really nice. I mean, a major flex for the grassroots.
Yeah.
Because normally they just ignore, And but HB 79 was the 2A infringement bill. It was that safe storage for your device tax credit, which in order to get that, you went on to a list with the Department of Revenue. So it's like basically like a watch list. And so we saw that one coming a mile away as Blake is watching and reading and paying attention to the rules calendar and committee meetings. I mean, it's just an incredible job that he does, I have to say. There's so much there, and he's one brain and one person, and he just gets it done. So we were able to get that bill completely, and that was phenomenal. Next on the list is SB 8. Which somebody actually DFACS wrote this bill. Like they proved that DFACS actually wrote this bill, but it gave juvenile court judges the authority to issue arrest warrants. As if DFACS wasn't terrifying enough, give them that type of power. And our chairman, Charlie Spurd, found that bill. She heard the rumblings, alerted Blake. Great save on her part. And we went after that hard. And again, with the grassroots help, awesome. We killed that bill. And then I don't know if y'all remember, but the Restoring Freedom Restoration Act was a bill that they've literally been trying to pass for about 10 years. Nathan Deal, when he was governor, he vetoed it. And it protects citizens from the government discriminating against you based on your religious beliefs or practices. And we were able to finally get that bill passed. And, it's so great that Trump's in the White House, but we got all these fools in Georgia. So we need now more than ever that added type of protection. And so that was a real big win. Our vice chairman, Colton Moore, his Fair Tax Study Committee was passed in the Senate, which was a big deal because they don't normally let him do things. And we, of course, are championing a repealing of the income tax completely in the state of Georgia. We are the only people that have put forward any sort of plan. The Freedom Caucuses to get rid of the income tax. We had proposed 6 years. And that was in contrast to the governor's 54-year plan, which is like a tenth of a point.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Blah, blah, blah. Ridiculous. And so we've made a push. And so that was great that got through the Senate. And we will be looking the second half of the biennium to get some good stuff out of that. Hopefully we can get some traction and get Georgians their money. I mean, it's
what's the size of the surplus these days? Do you know?
What is the cause of it?
The size. The size of the
size.
surplus. Yeah.
This year, so the budget was $36 billion, and from the budget office, our best report from them, and they can't ever really tell you, which is super scary, but what they thought closest number would be 16 billion.
Wow.
So that's 50% of the budget.
Massive.
It's massive. And we're still carrying debt. They say that we constitutionally have to have a balanced budget. That's not true. We are spending millions of dollars servicing our bond debt, which is so dumb. Nobody runs their house that way. But the state has a $16 billion budget. They're paying millions of dollars to service our debt, and we're in debt. So please, someone make it make sense. So
as we've said before, somebody's making money.
Somebody's making money. Somebody's making a lot of money, and it's not the taxpayers, I can assure you. So we are hopeful that on the back end of the term, we'll be able to move through with Colton's fair tax study and see if we can't get some teeth in that, for the taxpayers. And then we did have a loss. I think we have to chalk it up as a loss. Just being honest, everything wasn't a win, of course, because we're dealing with these people. But SB 30 was the bill that every conservative pretty much could agree that they wanted to see pass, which was making it illegal for minors to get puberty blockers. We last session banned the transgender surgeries. And we they had taken this part out before, of course, and watered it down. And we put it back in with this bill. But the super rhino, Sharon Cooper, who anything mental health, she is an adversary because she's really a Democrat. Her voting record is with the Democrats. She fought really hard to have the exception in there that parents can authorize their minors to get puberty blockers. And they were successful in doing that because of the Republicans who voted for it. Yeah. So we lost on that one, which is just, God help the kids that are going to be victims of that as a result of this
Again,
bill.
somebody's making money again. That's, big time.
Big time. And then our other loss, it was a win-loss, the way the lieutenant governor adjourned session 3 hours early, but it was in response to us losing HB 397, SB 214, and SB 175, which were our election integrity bills. And the Senate had done a great job. They are the more conservative body. They are the upper chamber, and they actually act like it. And they had done a good job with these election integrity bills, and then sent them to the House. And they just, they just started chopping them up like salad. And so, that is, again, like I mentioned before, when Bert was like, okay, we're adjourned, sine die. And everybody just, was in shock. And it was so funny because right when he said that, Blake and I were in the gallery and we ran down because we always join Colton on the floor of the Senate afterwards. And some friends of ours were there and they were like, what in the world? What are they doing? The people's, what is he doing? The people's business needs to continue. And we just said, hey, listen, we're of the mindset. We're team filibuster. Like when they are not in session, we are safer. Like when they are not in there doing business, we're safe. And for the most part, there's few exceptions to that, but it was just great. And what a hit he landed. On signing night earlier in the day in the House, I was in the gallery listening to these people just break their arms, patting themselves on the back when they passed bills to make cornbread the official state bread, to make Brunswick stew the official state food. And you're like, oh my gosh. And they're thinking it's so funny and they're so cute and they're down at the well and they're doing all this. Meanwhile, this state of our state is abysmal. And then Brian Kemp saunters in there at 7:30 p.m. at night to thank them for passing his tort reform bill, and then reminding them that they saved themselves from having a special session, which would have been their punishment. If they hadn't passed it, he would have brought them all back because he's going to get what he wants. And just like a mob boss, rolling in there at 7:30. And it's just such it's so jaw-droppingly clear, what's happening, whether it's DFACS, right, absolutely writing that one bill, or the pharma lobby and medical lobbies writing the, puberty blocker bill. It's just absolutely evident that the people are not in charge. Like our representatives are not representing us. They're representing special interests. And to your point that you've made several times, most accurately, for the almighty dollar. It's not for freedom's sake. It's not in line with the will of the people. And the insult to injury is that we're paying for all of it. We are paying for it. They passed a bill in the House a couple of weeks ago that forces the taxpayer to pay for backup generators for gas stations and nursing homes. And the people that carried the bills, wait for it, owned gas stations and nursing homes. They're not even like trying to hide it. They're so in your face and we're in control and you're not. And so we just have to flip the reality of that. And the way we do it, and I feel like it's like the third time I've said it today, we've got a very narrow window in 26 to truly get rid of these people, to take the gloves off, to hold their feet to the fire, to put their voting records up in their faces, to have great people who can actually win, run for these seats, people who can fundraise, people who can get out there. It's great to have awesome patriots, but you've got to be able to get the job done. Like the reason Brian Kemp's, the reason Brian Kemp's threat to the General Assembly that he was going to primary them if they didn't pass tort reform, which he just boldly and unapologetically made, is because he has that huge fund where he has millions of, and they know he means it. And you can come in and wipe out somebody in a house race with $5,000. You can actually do it, you know? And so it's just like ride or die right now for the conservatives. We've got to get people in these seats, and we got to beat these folks out.
Well, you know, it is doable. I've watched President Trump in the last week completely flip the tables on China with all this tariff stuff. I mean, what happened today was just amazing to watch. I don't know if you saw it, but it was just art of the deal big time.
Yeah.
And we ended the day up with him in control and China on the ropes. And I feel like that's what needs to happen. Something so it can happen. So the grassroots have to stay involved. Don't think that your efforts don't work because aren't effective, because they are.
They are,
as you've said, and it takes pressure from a lot of different areas, and you don't know where the crack is going to come, but it will come if we keep working on it.
Yes.
And I hope the federal government gets involved, and I hope we see some stuff on election integrity. I mean, I flashed aside. I can bring it up right now. This morning, the Gulf of no one's been arrested yet.
Yes.
I
know.
I mean, it's time for some business on the election integrity front.
Bars and people behind them. I mean, what is going on? Yes, I totally agree. That's hilarious. I haven't seen that before, but we need accountability in the most severe way possible for this. What they've really done to the American people, whether it's the citizens of Georgia or us as U.S. citizens, you know, slaves of the federal system, is really treasonous. I mean, it's the stripping of liberties, of your right to function under the Constitution. Like, this isn't complicated. I mean, there's so many applications of the Constitution with what these people have done, you know, how they've violated it. So let's get on with it. You know, let's do it. I totally agree.
What else, Mallory? Anything else you want to get out for people?
Well, to that point, I'm the chairman of the Georgia Freedom Fund, and we find Georgia Freedom Caucus, you know, candidates. We support the ones we have. We move around the state. That's my job. I'm shifting gears into, and so we need your help. I mean, the grassroots. You know, I know we're not made up of like massive donors and stuff, but people are going to have to, you know, give some money, give some time, knock doors, you know, be committed to these candidates, help us find them, fund us, you know, we'll vet them, all the things, but we need support because in 26, which is literally 11 months from now, this isn't like in the, you know, way off future. This is it. Candidates really need to be running right now that are running in 26. And so we need your help. Like, we'll do the legwork, but we need support, and we've got to have these folks. We're done after this. Like, it's just truly, because really the projection for Georgia, the way things are going by the think tanks and stuff, is that in 26 we'll lose the House, in 28 we'll lose the Senate, and after that we're straight blue, governor, everybody on down. So, you know, we really are looking at being a Michigan, an Illinois, a New York, a California. I mean, like that Bayer Monsanto bill. We were the first of 50 states, and we are Republican led, to legally shield these people from being sued for harming people, killing people, making them sick and diseased. And I mean, in this new season of RFK Jr. and all the understanding, the Maine's brother and sister that have brought a total awareness to the fact that they're literally poisoning us, and our Republicans passed a bill to protect these people. The first state of 50. Now Florida is following our lead. It is embarrassing. We are not a Republican state. And if you want to turn the tide and not have to move out of Georgia because our policies are blue, our policies are Democrat, we got to do it now. I mean, I just think we got to lock in and make it happen. So I would personally appreciate people's support so that we can get it done, because amazingly enough, there are some good people who are willing to lay down their lives and run, because it is a massive give when people do that. It's a sacrifice. I've done it. I can't even talk about it, but it's a calling, and it's now or never. And we've got to get behind these people and outweigh that Brian Kemp money coming in that says, I'm going to have puppets only, please. Puppets only. And
well, I think Kemp is one in a long line of leaders like Obama, Zelensky, Macron, in Arizona, Michigan, where they're just not working for the people. They're working for somebody else. And it's in your face at this point.
It is. It's in our face. Boop, right there. Yep.
Thank you, Mallory. Appreciate it.
Thanks
we'll have
for
you back
having
soon,
me.
and we'll help you with all this effort you're talking about. So
Thank you.
We'll be your media arm. Take care, Mallory.
Okay. Have a great night. Appreciate you.
Bye. Mallory's always great with a lot of information there. So we have a new sponsor. It is the Alp Pouch. It's a new product by Tucker. It competes against Zen. If you're a Zen nicotine pouch user, consider the Alp Pouch, America's lip pillow, and you can get it at alppouch.com/CDM. Don't forget that piece. I'm going to run an ad here real quick on the Alp Pouch. So please support them. Switch if you're using Zen. It's a very woke company, as you're going to see here.
I'll give you a plug for Alp right now. So if you talk about one of the worst companies that's out there,
America's greatest nicotine pouch,
America's lip pillow. But who is your biggest competitor?
That would be the Zyn Corporation.
Zyn. Do you know who owns Zyn?
I do.
So it's Philip Morris International.
Yep.
They are operationally headquartered in Switzerland. On their website to this day, I mean, you go on their website today, they have a massive diversity, equity, inclusion piece that is on their website. They have that, and I would say it's I'll call it the worst aspects of DEI, which can be quota systems, race-based systems. And on their website today, they say we're going to hire 20% of our people. We want to be Asian. Literally on their website, just 20%. They want 40% women. I mean, literally quota systems they have on their website today. But the other piece is that on their website, and this is a company that makes Marlboro cigarettes and Zyn and other things, is so they're like one of their big partners for Pride Month that's coming up is the Stonewall Org. And Stonewall Org is one of these LGBTQ plus organizations, and fine, you can do that, but like they are advocating for biological men to compete against women in sports. But this is what's crazy is that and I think this is the problem about where we're going is
what does that have to keep that out of my mouth? I mean, this is like a.
So we are in the factory in Kentucky. This is Alp World HQ, and we are at the end of the packing line. So I'm going to show you how it works. We have the card, throw it in there. There's a packing slip, and then you have the Alp. And 4, but that seems honestly like a lot. 3 now, but it's good. You just pack a punch that, for a normal nicotine brand, it'd be like 8. We think 3 is fine. Next one. Again, 4. I'll throw 3 in just to keep it fair. Okay? There you go. So you can see you can get fast at this. And really, it's just a matter of repetition. This is kind of the assembly line that, Henry Ford devised so long ago.
Tucker's stealing all the Alp because...
Support CDM with the alppouch.com/CDM. I sat down with Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen a couple days ago, and we talked about the tariff issue. Actually, it was yesterday. The tariff issue and what the public thinks, because there's a whole narrative out there that the tariffs are bad. We're going to go into recession. It's stupid. You're going to lose your job. You're going to be poor. You're going to be the Great Depression. None of that is true, because it's only affecting a very small percentage of the population, the financial class. And Trump came out on top today. If you want to watch my show in the mornings, The Skiff, we had a lot of good discussion on that yesterday and today. So it's not that. It's a good thing to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. and to move wealth from Wall Street to Main Street. So I hope you enjoy this little discussion with Mark. It's a piece of what we had yesterday on my morning show, 10 to noon Eastern, Monday through Friday, the Skiff. So here we go. Mark, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the link mix up there.
Oh, I do it all the time. Yeah, good to be back.
So tell me, my friend, what do the U.S. public think about these tariffs? I mean, I'm seeing a narrative war with the financial class really pushing back. But what does Joe Bag of Donuts on the street think?
Well, there's been a lot of emotional and mental manipulation about the tariffs because it's a really tough thing for people to understand. They just don't get the details. And the first couple of times we've asked, it's like a Rorschach test. You can literally get whatever numbers you want. The last time we literally tried to keep it as simple as possible. Do you support the tariffs or not? And we got like 33% yes, 33% no, and everybody else was not sure. But they get the sentiment. Like, that's the thing here. Everybody's screaming about the stock market and talking about the economy as if the stock market was the economy. That is not the case. Americans, the middle class has been gutted, and this is what they've signed up for. Because we asked this: does the government do too much to protect U.S. manufacturers and businesses from foreign competition, or not enough? And not enough wins 45-17, overwhelmingly among Republicans and independents. And then also, we took a J.D. Vance quote: if we do not protect our nation's manufacturers, we lose a fundamental part of who we are as a people. Making things, building things, and working with our hands is America's heritage. And 73% agree. 73%. Only 21% don't agree. Only 27% of Democrats don't agree. And so what it comes down to is they're trying to use these dirty tricks. They're trying to convince people that all of a sudden now Donald Trump is done. And I can tell you his approval took a little bit of a hit, but he's still, in the high 90s. I think it was 49% today. Let me check. I mean, that's not bad. Joe Biden left office at 44% in our numbers. Actually, okay. So fresh numbers just back, got down to 47%, but last night's overnight was back up to 49. So it's going to come back up. And it's all, I mean, it was a psychological operation they did this weekend, trying to convince everybody yesterday was going to be Black Monday, and it completely fizzled out.
That is so obvious to me, Mark. I mean, you had all the legacy media pushing this is, as you say, Black Monday, the market crash, China's going to, just win over the U.S. and all of this like coordinated operation. And even the financial class in the chats I'm in were like, geez, this is the worst thing Trump could have ever done. He should recalibrate, and they even tried the 90-day pause thing that they threw that little in the media, and that didn't stick. So is it have they lost this now, or what do you think?
I mean, I think so. Listen, everybody screaming is a billionaire or works for one. Yes. That's essentially what it comes down to. And I was joking about like all of the Republicans' phones that were probably melting off the hook from all the like Koch money and Club for Growth people, because that's where these people get their campaign money, especially in the Senate. And what do you see? 6 or 7 Republicans break rank with Trump over tariffs. A lot of them get money from companies that have ties with China. Like that's just fact. You can look it up in Open Secrets. And so,
you mean like Elon Musk?
I mean, well, they're all, he freaked out about this too. But unfortunately, like as you can see, the American people are overwhelmingly. We have new numbers in the field tonight, and we're literally just asking, did you vote for this? And I guess we'll see the results, but the results are probably going to be like a lot of Republicans saying, yeah, I voted for this. I did a Twitter poll on it, and 85% to 15%, they said, yeah. So I think people see through what's happening. And again, the economy is not the stock market. We had numbers nationally before the election. Only 20% of people think today's children will be better off than their parents. Wow. Like that's how bad it got.
Number. So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back with Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen. Stay with us.
This is a special report. Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
So, Mark, I was wondering, Judge Roberts has taken a lot of hits recently with stories about him, palling around with some of the liberal justices, Norm Eisen, et cetera. What are people thinking about the Supreme Court right now? Have you polled on that?
Not recently. That's unfortunately not a very fun topic to poll on because everybody just kind of likes them. It
Really?
tanked a little bit around the Dobbs decision. People were upset, but it wasn't a crisis. Like 50% of America still approved of the ruling, the Roe v. Wade ruling, and then the Supreme Court favorability is back up. I mean, outside of Donald Trump, they're the highest favorability anything. So, except for like kittens and firefighters, it's just one of those things. I'll try and pull it up, but I mean, it's not.
Well, let's shift. Yeah. What are the big targets or big issues that you see the public's really interested in right now?
I mean, like this is really it. The thing that I'm tracking that I think is most fascinating is that Trump's platforms, we've talked about this before, but Trump's platform is more popular than he is by far. Mm-hmm. And that might be a surprise to people because, oh, he's racist. Oh, you can't have a border wall. Oh, look, you can't, hands off the economy. Well, no, like over 60% of people support mass deportations. Like imagine that, right? Yeah. People support him cleaning up the government. 70% are angry at the level of waste, fraud, and abuse. And so like on every single one of these topics, that's more important and more favorable than him. His favorability is like close to 50 right now. And that's higher than any other politician, really, to be honest with you. Kamala Harris still trails him, every one of the Democrat challengers. And who likes Donald Trump the most, and what is fascinating to me, is 18 to 39-year-olds. We just looked at a poll. I did a poll on Stephen A. Smith over the weekend. And the 18 to 39-year-olds in this poll went Kamala Harris by 9 points, according to themselves, just back in November. And they had like a 55% Trump favorability, like massive net positive in the teens, whereas everybody else, it's negative or underwater. And they think that the country's going in the right direction more than anybody else as well. And so that's a complete reversal because the Democrats have always thrived on the younger vote. When you look at these protests, and it's like boomers, like it's basically boomers. And now all of a sudden you're going to have this coalition of the afflicted because their 401k took a hit. And I just don't think people want to hear it because 18 to 39-year-olds can't get a job. Yeah. They can't buy a house. And Donald Trump is literally speaking to their souls. And what I think he's done is put a package together, a gift for the Republican Party that's the best platform they've ever had. And what I think you're seeing is because of DC, because of money, because of reasons, they're reticent to get behind it. And they need to because they're going to start losing again once Donald Trump's gone.
So is Trump just giving the youth hope? Is that because they haven't had any, right? I mean, you see this in Iran where the youth are rebelling even down to like low teens. And in the face of very tough violence from the RCG because they have no hope for the future. Is that what you're seeing in the U.S., like a rally to I can actually have a job and a house, as you said?
Yeah, that's what the numbers say. We have tried to ask in multiple ways. And what I'm starting to see is that the 18 to 39-year-olds are more informed on things like, oh, we're angry at the level of waste, fraud, and abuse more than anybody else. And one of the ones that we asked kind of early, I think it was maybe the first week of February, is will Donald Trump's second term usher in a golden age, I think is the word we use for America. And 18 to 39-year-olds was almost 60%, more than anybody else too. So it like just off the charts. And they don't, I mean, looking at the Democrat Party, it's just, it's AOC doesn't poll well.
Yeah.
Newsom doesn't poll that well. They got Chuck Schumer. Kamala Harris is a loser. None of those people are going to be able to capture the cultural zeitgeist. It's like they built an entire machine that thrives on celebrity status in an era where people like don't care about celebrities because they hate the system.
I saw AOC was polling ahead of Schumer in the Senate race. Have you looked at that at all?
Oh, we haven't done that one yet. What we just did is As part of this Stephen A. Smith poll, we did a couple of matchups, and this is tough maybe for Republicans to hear, and it is a little bit too early probably to take real stock in matchups. But in a 2028 head-to-head, J.D. Vance only beat Stephen A. Smith by 4 points. It's like 34%. And in this poll, only 44% of people actually even had an opinion on favorability of Stephen A. Smith. So that's like an unknown challenger. And 55% of Democrats were like, no, I don't have an favorable, unfavorable. I don't know, not sure. And yet, so they have this latent people who will turn out for anybody, for literally anybody. And Republicans, if you put a non-Trump figure on the ticket, they're going to lose. They're going to lose all the crossover Democrats and independents that are Trump-only issue. But in the primary, Kamala Harris beat Stephen A. Smith only 45% to 24% Democrat primary. And he's only 3 points behind Newsom and 4 points behind AOC. So AOC and Newsom just don't really do that great. I mean, we listed a bunch of candidates together and asked the Democrats to pick. Kamala Harris is the front runner with 41% among Democrats. And then it was like, I think Shapiro was next with 11. Newsom and AOC were like 10 and 8. So the problem is they have very loud voices and they reach this core liberal heart of the Democrat Party, which is what is prominent right now. Like the Chuck Schumer voices aren't prominent. They took a beating on the CR and then they just ran away. And now everybody's trying to redefine what this party is. And it's a mess. Like if Stephen A. Smith declares and comes in and runs on a reform the Democrats Party, they're going to rip him to shreds. Like it's going to be a complete firing squad. So it's going to devolve, right? That's what it comes down to, right? So
you're saying there's a huge opening in the Democratic Party for new blood and a new mission and a new narrative and a new agenda, but that the old vestiges of the party will destroy that, in your opinion. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, the narrative core of the Democrat Party is what's in mainstream media right now, and I don't know where they're getting these narratives. Again, I think you could never see a clearer info op than Jim Cramer came out on Wednesday and said, oh, Monday might be Black Monday.
Yeah.
Then if you look at Google search trends, nobody started searching for that term until Sunday. So everybody saved it up and ran it as part of the Sunday news cycle and put it in headlines in every paper on Sunday. And then you can see the daily search volume, within the day, of the term Black Monday. And right at the opening bell, it goes down. I guess we don't have a Black Monday. It's just absolutely incredible. So there's that part of the Democrat Party. And I don't know what's driving that. But then there's Reddit and Blue Sky, right? And that's communist crazies and socialists and people that want to, get in a hot war with Russia. It isn't moderates. But when we asked, does the Democrat Party need to be more radical or more moderate? And overwhelmingly, people say more moderate, including a plurality of Democrats. So what you hear is not what their voters think. They want Chuck Schumer to resign. Well, we asked Democrats, and a majority of them said no. He's good, keep him around.
Wow. So it's chaos essentially, and that's opportunity for the America First crowd to really make ground if they can get their act together in the Senate and the House.
That's a big if.
Yeah. So next segment, I want to talk about, you commented on one of our Ukraine articles, but before we go, we got a comment here that, polling may be irrelevant still with a lot of the election fraud going on. Are you looking at opinion on election fraud? I mean, there's a meme going around the Gulf of no one's been arrested yet, about what happened in 2020. So have you looked at that at all? What does the public want?
We're election integrity folk heroes. We are in the top 50 on the GEC list of misinformation spreaders on Twitter. Yeah. The government tried to take us down like all the other accounts. I don't know why we didn't get nuked, to be honest with you, but we've asked this question more times than anybody else. And tracked in real time how the gaslighting operation of the big lie like actually backfired and made more people suspicious of election outcomes because, as we all know, there was real evidence of fraud, and it is hard to do our jobs. I think our biggest miss was in 2018, and that's, I think, when Act Blue really got their Smurfing act together. So we're covering it, and we're starting to talk to people because our president, Ted Carroll's really invested in this topic, has been following it closely. And from everything I hear, it's happening. Like, it is happening. Like, the Act Blue people resigned for a reason. The state investigations may have given way to a federal investigation. A lot of people I've talked to behind the scenes. One person even implied that potentially they know of at least 2 major figures that have already been like rolled up already. So I don't again, I don't have an inside source. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel like the 2 weeks that we all know and love from the Biden era. And of course you have Dan Bongino out there like publicly saying things are going to happen. And like sticking to, our owner Ted told me this, the Roy Cohn theory. It's like Donald Trump was trained under Roy Cohn. There's no way on earth that he's going to allow that theft to just, this is what it's about. Like he literally just declared war on the last 100 years of like global economic order, right? Like he just declared war on it. So he's coming after election fraud too.
Well, we got 26 coming up in a hurry, man. So we got to get on it.
I know I have to pull it. That's a problem, right? If Act Blue's got $2 billion of money laundered into this race or not, it makes a huge difference, I think, to the outcome. And I have to like pretend that the elections are fair and like poll these things, and we know they're not. And I still think even the special elections just last month, hey, I have some reasons to suspect the outcomes. Although I think the Republicans absolutely did underperform. You can like both things can be true at the same time. Because
if
what
they
I hear,
they don't have to cheat so much, right? I mean, because they're monitoring the algorithm and they can slow it down. Hope you enjoyed that with Mark Mitchell. Always a interesting and smart and enlightening guest, and we're going to have him on the show more regularly. And I want to just run an ad about our Nucleo Boost. This is what we use to stay in the fight here 24/7, keeps us running, brings a lot of stamina. Everybody has a different reaction, but it's essentially the building blocks to your life that you need for your body. And I'm going to run a quick ad for Nucleo Boost.
I'm watching my friends gain more and more weight, and then eventually I got to tell you, this is a little dark, but bad diet literally killed my whole crew.
Wow.
Diabetes, a stroke. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's like, you had a stroke? You're not even 50 years old. You guys got to quit eating this stuff. Your body knows what's what. You're not conscious of this. But that's why people will go to the refrigerator and they'll grab this and that and the other and put together this outrageously elaborate combination of foods. Your body's trying to reach balance. Unbeknownst to us, our bodies are always trying to reach homeostasis. You can't eat all of this stuff and expect to live a long time. And one thing led to another, and I went, forget this. We're going to make our own product. So we partnered with one of the world's top 3 biochemists where nutrition-specific study is concerned. I said, all I want is the best nutritional and immune support product in the world. So we mixed it in yogurt. It's a powder. I got a bag of it here. I keep one on the console all the time, just so I can show people.
Yeah.
And it's a powder. Now, this is not candy. This is hardcore nutrition. And sugar is an enemy. And most people do not know that the reason these bellies are showing up on people all over the place, your body makes fat to store the toxins it can't get rid of. So it just puts them over here. But I can tell you this, you take this for 30 days and then lay off of it for 2 or 3 days, and you'll go, good grief, give me some more. Skin, nails, hair growing back, cut yourself and it heals in half the time.
So along with Nucleo Boost, I mean, we have been preaching about the markets now for some time, that we're in a situation where there's a lot of vulnerability in the markets. You saw it in the last week. We hit like 15-year lows. I mean, I think the NASDAQ was down as much as in 2008, the biggest drawdown. So it's really a volatile market. Hopefully it's righting itself and found a bottom, but we don't know that. We got a lot of pain to go through. And if you've got a portfolio, you need to make sure you're in assets that are not going to crater and lose their value. They're going to hold their value in this market. And that's why we advise precious metals. Go to cdmmetals.com for our audio audience, cdmmetals.com, and talk to, actually, you can get your free investment guide there by filling out the form, and the team at Advisor Metals will contact you. We have done a deep dive on Ira Bershatsky's and his team. We've looked at their regulatory background. They're the only ones in the business that are regulated by the Commodities and Futures Commission. That's a good thing. He's a patriot. We've looked at his bankers and talked to his bankers. We've talked to his IRA custodians, had all the references. We can highly recommend Advisor Metals. So if you got an IRA sitting there that you want to protect, you can put assets in precious metals through him for your IRA, or if you just got cash that you want to put in something that's going to hold its value, talk to Advisor Metals at cdmmetals.com. With that, we've had a full show today. That's all we got. We're going to be back Sunday at 2. Please, 2 Eastern, on the Georgia show. Please check out our Monday through Friday morning news intel brief, the SCIF, where the SCIF means the Specialized Compartmented Intelligence Information Facility, where you get information that you need for it to really perform during the day. So the SCIF is Monday through Friday, 10 to noon Eastern. It's a great show. We got a lot of great guests. We're getting a lot of great feedback. People love it. So check it out in the mornings. We stream on X, Gettr, Rumble, and it's thrown up on YouTube after. And we're on, obviously, cdm.press. You can find it there, too. So thank you. Bill and I will be back on the Georgia show Sunday at 2. We'll see you next time.